the good, the bad, and the ugly of RPG Maker games. I'll be talking about 3 games and we'll see who survives this showdown and what they can learn from each other. The good. A common denominator in 99% of RPG Maker games is storytelling, and the availability of RPG Maker as a platform for game development for artists with a rather low barrier of entry is good, because there are a lot of games that transcend beyond all expectations and deliver us a masterpiece. RPG Maker games are a good middle ground for both creators and us players alike. These games are a good center between non-interactive movie storytelling and immersive 3D games, but the most important part of them all is usually story, and wow, are some of them absolutely nailing it. Games of all genres can be fun in their own respect, but all of them try to make us feel something, and storytelling is like a cheat code in this regard because they're the most obvious and easy way to make us feel. Now, what do you think makes the story good? Omori's main cast is instantly recognizable and memorable, but aside from the interesting and instantly likable characters, Omori has a trick up its sleeve to keep you engaged. This little tag that you might have seen on the Steam page before downloading the game, the psychological horror tag. There's constant tension, and something is always in the back, lurking in the shadows. So the build-up and the resolution to the story are that much more satisfying, and you know that when a story leaves you wanting more, then it's done a good job at doing its job. Omori's good is in its imagery and art. Omocat's hand drawings and the beautiful soundtrack drive this game up to the next level and immerse you in this world the same way that symbolically the main character Omori does. And the good, the bad, and the ugly, you'll see this man be the good. Well, guess what? He's as much of an asshole as everyone else. Omori's got good story and good characters, alright, but the gameplay isn't the best. It's too long for no reason. There's too much filler content that it's damaging the experience. I think this game is so full of content that it's overflowing, and making it non-skippable makes second playthroughs for alternative endings feel horrible. The normal enemies in this game never pose a threat and only serve as walking XP, and the abundance of side quests and watermelons which contain healing items virtually make the healer of your party worthless. Hero is beyond useless because he's slow, which doesn't allow him to heal in time. Instead, using Kale as a healer is much more effective because he's fast. Either way, if you're not in the story, you constantly feel like you're rushing through everything, but you can't because you're constantly slowed down by everything in your path. However, it's really well made at the same time, so good job Omori for getting the good tag. The bad. Justice ain't gonna dispense itself. The main quirk of OneShot is the name. You only have one chance, one opportunity. Well, that's a lie, because it's a game, and you have to restart it if you want to get the other ending. That aside, the game uses 4th-wall breaks for its puzzles, which is cool. And there's this fragile cat who likes pancakes, who's the main character of the story. But that's it. Just because the game is cute doesn't warrant it being good. OneShot doesn't feature any combat and relies on puzzle solving to keep you engaged. That's a problem, as there's no reason to go out and explore, so you find yourself constantly trying to move from point A to point B. The narrative of the game feels odd as well. In summary, from the start, the game shows you repeatedly that this world will perish without light soon, and it's up to you to guide this tiny cat with a light bulb to save everyone. But guess what? I literally don't care about any of them. These NPCs are all doomers about the situation, yet they all act friendly towards Nico the cat, who I'm supposed to feel empathy because he's fragile and likes pancakes. Now, maybe that was a little too hard. This game is well made and is pretty good in the visuals and the music. Maybe I'm a psychopath, but I think I'm just based. It's a little harsh to put this game in the bad category, but I could have picked any other obscure title that's barely playable and put it here. Either way, OneShot, you get the bad tag, but know that you're still pretty cool. And the ugly. Storytelling can be through gameplay, as most RPG Maker's games do through combat and interactive puzzles. But it's not easy because there's a fine line between annoying and immersive. Lisa the Painful is the ugly of the 3. If Omori made its name with its 6 characters, then Lisa does it with 1, Brad. And unlike OneShot, it does it rather well through its gameplay mechanics. Brad can be described as someone who doesn't give a shit, as he'll stop at nothing to find Lisa in a world of perverts. As the name of the game suggests, it's designed to be painful. There are many things that will go wrong during your playthrough, and you might feel frustrated. That's the whole point. You might lose a party member permanently due to bad luck or just fall off a cliff because the developer thought it'd be funny to have annoying platforming. This is both good and bad at the same time. The setting and gameplay elements tie together perfectly to deliver its message. The combat animations are goofy, and the game encourages you to actively look for side quests for new party members, which is a lot of fun. And get this, the quirky part of the RPG Maker game is actually funny. Yeah, unheard of. Most of the time, the game doesn't tell you where to go. Lisa the Painful has these hubs where you can always go back to and choose your door. So 90% of the time, you feel as if you're aimlessly walking around searching for something that doesn't exist. Go the wrong way and die because you aren't cool enough, and now you have to redo everything from the checkpoint you collected over 15 minutes ago. This sucks. But at the same time, the game is well balanced as to have Brad be the ultimate Sigma male without a care for anyone else. They're all just assets for him, and if you play well, then you can technically beat the game without any assistance. That's pretty cool, and that's Lisa the Painful for you. A mixed bag. Far from good, but far from bad. It's just ugly, exactly how it was intended to be. Having looked at these three games, I want to reflect on what they did right and wrong, and what they can learn from each other. So we've established that there are some things you need for a story to click, make interesting characters, give me a reason to care, and overwhelm me with visuals and music. And boom, you're done. But since it's a game, you have to deliver on that side too. Give me a reason to explore and make it goofy or challenging, but not annoying. Omori makes you care for this unit of a group and constantly eggs you on about something in the back. OneShot makes you care for a cat, and Lisa makes you relate to an asshole, but I didn't care for the bad and the ugly stories, because I had no reason to. Unlike OneShot, Lisa the Painful redeems itself in other aspects, because visuals aren't the only thing that makes a game fun. But the filler content of these games is too long for no reason, and it only infuriates everyone if it's boring.